Okay, I'm ready. Oh, okay, very good. All right, everybody, welcome to the March 2025 Environmental Commission. Let's see, I guess we'll get started with the minutes. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the February minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, okay, all approve? All right, aye, perfect. I should probably have put the annual report in there as well. Did anybody have a chance to look at the annual report?
I did. You did a nice job putting it together.
Cool.
Pretty thorough.
Do we make a motion? All right. So anybody want to make a motion to approve the annual report?
I do.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, all approve?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so, yes, we have Roger Durr, Barbara Halpern, Dave Marshall? Okay, and I don't know you. What was your name? Okay. So anybody, any of our guests would have anything they would like to say before we get started with the meeting?
I've heard from a resident who has concerns about trees being removed for a block that's going to have a house on it or with the house being built on it. And inquiries in town hall came up with the tree ordinance doesn't apply to new construction, it's completely false. So it seems the tree ordinance, which has been in effect since the summer of 2024, is not being the construction office is unaware of it. They should get any permit from construction and must have the permit for the tree removal. It should be a pre-approval. If you have a comment on that, Mark?
I remember when they had it up, I came to that meeting, and there were a lot of construction men out there curious about it. So they're aware of it. Now this man is doing it on his own, is that right? This man who cut down all his trees?
Yes, I guess the property owner.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you aware that construction is not doing that job? Well, if you come in for a construction permit, and if they're telling people who inquire that they're not required to follow the tree ordinance when you're construction. I mean, that's very concerning, because, almost all these plans have, trees being removed, and obviously, we're not enforcing it. That's the way, people of public are being told when they go in. So that's a big concern.
What can we do about it?
Well, you can do as Mark said, talk to Mr. Finley, find out what's going on.
Okay.
If this is the township policy, the next step would be to reach out to people at Stormwater, because maybe they don't want to hear it from lay people. And if the state tells the town they're not applying this properly and not doing what they need to be doing, it's a lot more effective than the environmental commission or the general public. So,
if a tree ordinance like this one, the ordinance was passed through the township,
yeah.
at that point, it should go back to the officials so they're educated. They may not be aware of it. Who handles that? Who makes sure that they get trained on whatever gets passed through a committee or a planning board or zoning board or anything like that? In the event, like in this case, the tree ordinance was passed through the committee, at that point, obviously, the township officials need to be made aware that there is now an ordinance. Who's in charge of the committee? Just curious to make sure that obviously, if they're unaware of it, there's a breakdown somewhere in that path, and if not, then I'm just curious how that went through.
Maybe a few of us could call Mr. Finley. Kind of bother him. Yeah,
Is he back to work now? I know he was out of the office for the last couple of weeks. So
Oh.
email bounce back that I got. back and see if we can check.
Okay. I'll do it. Just wait, my farmers, we're cutting down trees too.
I think the ordinance is different on that side due to the rate format.
Yeah, except that,
I don't remember the specifics of what we discussed.
except that it's right next to, I have farmland, and then it's trees, and then it's the Blackwater stream. So, I think that they might have been doing it illegally.
Because when we brought up at the meeting, there was a discussion about whether the rate to form has precedent or whether this ordinance has nothing that was decided during the meeting officially. It was looked into it.
It was not yet decided.
Well, at that meeting, I don't know what's been decided since then, but I can.
Oh, I'd love to know. So, Mr. Finley. Okay.
Well, there's nothing in the state ordinance that has an exception, other than if you're moving trees as part of the forestry management
Right,
plan.
right, and that's why there was some gray area that they weren't sure on. They were going to try to find out.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's the main concern. I also,
Going in and saying,
as far as,
showing up
college,
face to
you
face
reached
with
out to, the public works, that's where it has drainage.
Yeah, first of all, it's too wet right now, it's like about pretty much all of our spare time, public works is being They must have, somebody must have got a bunch of them on a cell phone. But I would go in there.
The trail,
Yeah.
it's real far. So it would be great if they could get to it now. I also mentioned last time, Mr. Grant had brought up selling Pine Hollow. That's not possible. It's on the Rossi, the recreation, open space inventory. You can't sell a property that's, it's under 3 acres because it's on the rock. Yeah, you can certainly sell that one lot that you're selling to unexpected, or you're waiting to people, because it's not on the Rossi. But the entire 200 and, I believe, 2 acres that comprises Tiny Hollow is. So it's not just up to the, people who gave the land to the town. It's also regulated by the agency under 3 acres. So selling that would be virtually impossible. So the town, it has to deal with it.
So it's our park, it's our responsibility, and it's a beauty.
Well, just to correct exactly what I said, I think I might have said sell or partner with another organization for the management of that parcel. So,
That would be great.
right. Yeah.
And I know that there's some discussion of kind of gas problems under the stuff. And there are lots of organizations out there that the county can reach out. Or give permission for someone else to reach out on the county.
Okay. Did anybody else want to say anything before we move on?
Regarding that tree ordinance, I'll have to do some further research on it. However, I believe I've been told that there's multiple municipalities within the state that are challenging the requirement for those ordinances. So again, I haven't, I'm not well read on it, so I can't really speak to it, but hopefully those challenges are successful and that ordinance will be repealed, in due course. But perhaps, again, it's pure speculation. Maybe there's an issue with the enforcement, pending that litigation. I'm not sure. Again, I can't speak to that. So, just a thought. So. Again, yeah, this is all hearsay on my part, so I'd have to further research it. But I do believe some municipalities, and Mark, you mentioned, you said that is true. So.
Well, from what I understand, we were told one thing from the state about the requirements we found out later on that
Wasn't accurate. So there could possibly be litigation with other municipalities. Right. Got you. Thank you. Yeah. That's all I have on that. So,
And you wanted to do it because it causes, problems for the person who's going to construct, like your company?
No, I just believe that it's an unconstitutional requirement and violation of everyone's, Fifth Amendment protections under the Constitution, which a portion of protects individuals from government entities taking their property without just compensation. So I'm not necessarily opposed. I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other. I just think that the ordinance is written is a violation of that. So. And again, these ordinances were, essentially towns were extorted to enact these ordinances by the DEP, which is a, regulatory body that is made up of a bunch of unelected officials. So I just don't like the whole process. I mean, it could have been anything. Could have been, I don't know what a good comparable example would be, but just the fact that the way the whole thing went down is what I have an objection to. So that ordinance, if it were to be voted on by the people of this town, would never in a million years pass. So we're being forced into, recognizing some regulation that the people here don't want. So I just don't agree with the whole process, so to speak. So. I know we differ on that. I mean, you probably would vote for something like that, but that's just a difference of opinion. Yeah.
We're in a serious situation with our environment, and trees have a large part in helping us
Right.
clean the air. So I think that some things are going to be forced on us.
Well, that's I mean, not to get into a debate over the Constitution, but that's the constitutionality of it is if you believe that the trees are a benefit to the public, then people who own the trees should be compensated by the public. If there's a public benefit, then the public should equally pay for that benefit. If you follow what I'm saying, that burden shouldn't be borne by a certain group of the public over another. So.
Well, they're going to be cutting down trees on their property to build something to make money. So, yeah, no, I think it should be done.
Again, difference of opinion. So.
It does affect more than one person. When you take trees down, you're not just affecting the property that you own, you're affecting your neighbor's property because you'll have increased runoff, you'll have increased noise pollution, you'll have increased air pollution.
Which is why the tree mandate from the state made no sense, because under the state's mandates, you could remove a tree from a property, and the town's responsible for planting it anywhere else in the township. So it makes no sense for one officer that's like remove 50 trees from their home, then we can put 50 trees in a park 15 miles away from it. So, a lot of things that we would basically, I feel, forced into voting for on the state, but not a lot of us necessarily do.
And increasing the number of trees is a good thing, whether it's, and we're removing trees. The trees are older than the property owners will ever be, a lot of these trees. So to say you own the tree is like saying you own a mountain, saying you own the sun, saying you own the,
Well, what if you had a parcel of property that had no trees on it? Do you agree with a mandate to plant trees on it?
No.
Well, what's the difference?
because it's already done. You're not gonna.
Well, you said more trees are better for the public, so planting more trees would be better. So why don't we mandate anyone that has a vacant piece of property that doesn't have trees on it should plant trees?
Well, when you develop it, you are mandated to put trees in. Aren't you?
No.
That's what.
Well, what does development have anything to do with anything? If I have a parcel of property, I want to go cut every tree on it. I mean, what if I don't like trees? Like, I mean, we could debate this all day long. I mean, you have your opinions and I have my opinions. I mean, mine are rooted in the law. I don't disagree that trees are beneficial. So, I mean, I'm not going to debate that. However, if there's going to be a broad public benefit, then the burden for that public benefit should be shared by the entire public, not certain individuals.
Well, if you want to pay me, you want to enact a law that pays me for my trees, great. But you know what? There's a law that actually penalizes me for having an electric car. It cost me over $300 to register my electric car there. I drove, you see, I've had this car for a year and a half. It has 4,000 miles on it. But I have to pay the state over $250 to make up for gas tax that I would have never paid in the first place because I don't go anywhere.
Well, listen, don't drive your car on the roads, and then I agree that you shouldn't have to pay the fee.
Yeah, but why aren't I paying like you? You're paying by the mile with the gas that you buy. I'm not paying by the mile with my electric car. I'm paying for everyone else's car because the use of my car is not costing very much when I only drive 2,000 miles a year.
Well, so you're just upset with the scheme they're using to collect the money, not that you have to pay.
Club actually tries to lobby for the use to be related to the mileage, just like it is for regular gas-powered vehicles. So, you know, that doesn't make any sense, the way that they just penalize everyone, whether you're a little old lady who never drives, or whether you're someone that drives.
Well, you're not. What about the person that drives in excess of that? I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be. It should be related to the mileage. That would be more fair. Yeah. So. Right. Just like the stupid tree ordinance. They do shit that doesn't make sense. They don't make sense there, and they don't make sense on the trees. Yeah. So.
We're gonna have to change every single law. Good luck getting rid of the tree ordinance, but, you know, if it's taking up your land and you say you have to have stormwater infrastructure, isn't that the same thing?
No, you have to have stormwater infrastructure in relationship to a development. So if no one's developing anything, you still are wanting to apply the tree ordinance.
But most people remove the trees because they want to develop.
Perhaps. So, or they're farmers, or for any other reason. I don't know why they do it. But.
Farmers, they actually have a case. If they're under right to farm, which, from my understanding, right to farm does not apply to everybody who claims to be a farmer or who gets a Q farm designation. It's more complicated than that. So, yeah, we could go on and on.
Well, my farmers removed a whole bunch of trees. When new land just opened up to them, they removed a whole bunch of trees, and now they can't farm an area of their land because of the flooding. So, oh well. Yeah, there's a reason for the trees.
Unless one is historically cleared to the place where the wetlands are.
Yep.
Yeah, Franklin Township is a recharge area. It's good for the water, it's good for the trees.
Yeah, in fact, everyone really needs to.
All right, we'll move on to emergency management and hazardous waste. There are no things to report. I contacted Matt, and he said there's no DEP things to report at this month. Go ahead.
There's the property that's where the old public storage is, one here, the public storage is going to be behind that diner there. It's possible to someone have it back, going in fuel tanks, oil drums. You know, on a piece of property, it's a regular, plain lot.
Is that what you were talking about, Mark? See, I haven't seen that.
It's hard.
It's an eyesore. I mean, it's full of trash, but he's bringing in drums of things and hiding them in the back of the property. And he's got fuel tanks, well, at least one fuel tank, you have three. You've got one you can see on top of the one trailer, then he fills up the machines with diesel fuel, what I'm guessing.
And who is this person?
It's somebody that bought the property from the one that was going to put the public storage in, and it failed. He bought it from them, and he's got like 6 or 7 businesses under his name, different types, but I don't know what his purpose is here. I can't get a clear answer.
But not commercially, not really anybody, because it's not on the main thread.
But I brought it up at a meeting, and we were going to get the, involved because of the fuel issues and possibly what's in the dumps, but I haven't heard back. So there's a possible environmental issue there, but I don't know what or not so much still, but usage. But I don't know what it is or what it isn't.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have a long conversation. Okay.
And also, I should bring up, does anybody have any more information about the pool place that caught on fire? Is there any, I just feel like we haven't heard of anything about it at all.
Well,
Ever
Matt
since.
said that they're still working on it,
Okay.
but, it said that, again, do you want me to relate what you said, that they were pouring all this water on it to put the fire
Yeah.
out? And, and now, but they're not testing water, they're not testing wells.
Okay.
And,
You're having a runoff,
yeah.
water runoff.
Yeah, it's worrisome. I don't know,
Are we doing any more testing? Or
I don't believe
so we can ask you.
you can, because construction would be in charge of that.
Yeah, you can talk to 7 regional. Yeah, that's what
I'm trying to go through a committee first, to figure out what the issues.
I would say that you use contact numbers times the problems.
All right. I guess we'll move on to our applications. So I thought we had 4 applications because I had gotten 4 as far as I saw on the thing. Do you know if one of them was withdrawn or something? Because I see that we have the Coles Mill one, right? And then we have the one across.
What's the number?
no, we weren't given them.
Yeah, originally I wasn't given any numbers on the thing. They were all blank. It was very confusing.
It's possible maybe they had withdrawn it temporarily or required more information.
Okay. It's fine. It's I have 4 on here, and I guess I'll just have to make sure they match up with the plans we got. But the first one I had down was let's see, the 1785 Coles Mill Road one, which is this one right here. Okay, it's good.
SB or?
ZB 2505.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so that one was, they want a C variance for 2 lots that are 99 feet of frontage instead of the required 100 feet in the Franklinville Village District. They want to build 2 homes and lots, and they're both going to be 2-story. They kind of, in the plans, they kind of looked identical almost, like everything just seemed to mirror, except for maybe where the septic was. Did anybody want to comment on those at all?
Could it be a copy of the agenda for tonight, or is it on? Well,
I can send it to you if you want, and...
Yeah, I can
okay.
print it out.
Okay, because I actually probably should have sent it to you, but I forgot to send it to you. So
It's okay.
I'll send it to you now,
Okay.
and then we'll get you one.
Print me one too, Candace, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I can have it, I'll have to look at my phone. The other, while she's getting that, the other application looks like Evan was the one on Bluebell Road.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't see that one, right?
that We don't have any paper copies
Okay.
for. Yeah. It was a pole barn on a lot on Bluebell Road. He just, I think, believe it's oversized for what's permitted. Can we discuss Coles Mill while we're doing?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really have any comment on Coles Mill. Each lot is 1 foot short of meeting the requirements. Other than that, that's the only reason they're going to the zoning board. Really.
Let's see.
So that goes without, no comment.
Yeah, and I kind of, because I guess, so it's just the variance that he's doing now, and I guess we're going to get the thing for the homes later? Is that what it's going to be, or are they included in the same?
Yeah, if there's a conforming lot, I mean, we don't review it, it's handled internally, so.
Yeah.
No, once he gets his approvals, he or she, I don't know who's applying, but, gets their approval for the lot width variance, which I believe that's the only variance they're looking for. It's 99 feet where 100 feet is required.
Yeah.
Then that would all be, handled internally, within the administration as far as approvals.
Okay.
Right.
So we should, is it
No
consensus,
comment.
no comment? Okay. So the Blue Belt one doesn't seem to be on here.
The other one was Sahara Sand. I don't really know. I mean, I believe maybe Barbara can speak to it or Mark.
That's kind of what I was hoping.
They come in for periodic
Is that-
permit
is it
renewals.
Sahara Sands?
Are they expanding again?
I can't really tell,
It's-
you know,
Very
I couldn't
confusing.
understand it, Barb.
Do you have a picture from?
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what I wrote down from the application is, well, first of all, just for everybody, you know, for the
I'm looking here. I mean,
for the audience, it's just it's at Coles Mill Road and Bluebell Road, and it's Pinelands Residential Rural District, and it's Franklin Township Block 6103, lots 1, 2, 9, 10, and 11, as far as I could see, and then it goes into Monroe Township, and it said that, if I remember correctly, it said that they are not doing anything in the Franklin Township area, but they're, I guess, doing stuff in Monroe. But they said in Franklin Township they use that for like they have storage there of like mining equipment and I guess stuff that's already been mined or something.
In the driveway, all the trucks come in on Coles Mill, unless they're changing that.
no, I mean, their application states, request for site plan approval and renewal of resource extraction and soil removal permit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived in Franklin since 2009 and been involved with stuff, and they, like I said, they come in periodically, every 3 years maybe, for, I think
It's more often
their
than that,
permit.
you know?
I know they were here recently for the solar project, but,
Okay.
aside from that, I mean, I think it's just all
Okay.
their permit renewals. I mean, maybe they're on a 3-year cycle or 5-year cycle or something, I don't really know. Yeah. But what Evan said makes sense, because they, I think they're all mined out in Franklin, from what I recall. And again, I don't take that for a fact, but most of their activities are in Monroe.
Yeah, that'll be handled elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about removing stuff on these lots, these residential lots. I don't know if these are the lots they requested before.
What do you mean requested before? Like,
They requested previously an expansion.
oh, okay.
Into, you know, Monroe Township. And I don't know if that was, if they were requesting more expansion or not, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Anybody want a paper copy?
Oh no, I'm good. I have mine right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more, thank you. Sorry.
Evan, that
Yes.
first application, was there a result of no contact?
Oh, just no comment. Yeah, and now we're on the Sahara Sands mine, which is, let's see, what's the? Well, I'll get you the application number in a second. So-
SP 25-03.
It seems to be an old plan, you're probably right if you're not.
So why would they, is it just because they have to go to Monroe Township and our township to, you know, whatever they're, you know, is it they have to, if they're just gonna mine in Monroe Township?
Well, I think in order, and again, this is speculation on my part,
Yeah,
in order for them to keep their permit valid, in Franklin Township, they have to come every, again, I'm making this up, 3 years. There's a certain time period, their permit's only good for so long, they have to renew their permit, and I guess the way the ordinance is written is that renewal will be approved by the planning board. So that's why they continually come back to the planning board,
okay,
time and again for renewal of their permit.
okay.
There's a revised letter from the Pinelands, according to this plan, that's dated 1/24/25, is that in the application?
No, not that I say.
It's unclear, because they have a line here, mining area permanent period 2019 to 2024. And then over here, they're saying area mined beyond approved limit, 17.2 acres. Without the letter, it's impossible to understand if they're asking for more.
When they're done, what's it gonna be like?
I think they probably have a reclamation plan. I don't know what it looks like, but I assume they
I
have to
think they have to,
topsoil and landscape.
but they may have to make sure that the edges don't drop off.
Yeah, they grade the edges to a certain
Yeah.
degree. Yeah.
They try to make it a little safer so that the public will eventually be using the property.
Building, did you build on it?
Probably not, but it's possible.
Hmm.
To the timeline, so it's doubtful. But they're probably looking at it as some kind of park-like setting.
Yeah, they're involved with the property, they gotta get a permit to show cause.
What does SP mean when it says?
Site plan.
Site plan, okay. So that one, when I put my, or what do you call it, the comment sheet in,
Right.
I don't put planning board or zoning.
Well,
do
that's
put
what,
on
I mean, this is checked off, it's going to the planning board, but
Oh,
I guess they're
I
using
see.
SP
Yeah,
now. I
okay.
mean,
there? All right,
they used to be PB, unless she's, you know,
Yeah.
when there's a site plan, she's labeling SP now. I don't know. Probably just trying to confuse us, I think. What do you think? You have an opinion on that? No,
It's
you don't.
pretty simple, it's zoning board of
Planning, now they throw in site plan for us to confuse us.
yeah. Should we say no comment for now, unless we discover something before the end of the meeting?
You can put insufficient information, because without a clue as to what they are asking, how you answer.
Yeah. Does that sound good to everybody? And to-
Yeah, either no comment,
If you
yeah.
get a finance letter, you know what they're requiring them to do.
No comment, put a question mark.
Do not understand.
Yeah. Okay. And then the final one was this Plains Farm LLC, which is on Delphi Drive, opposite of the Brooks auction. It's block 1306, lot 34. They want to use the land to build 4 buildings to house 8 flex space space office / contractor storage units. And
2.5 acres.
yeah, I think that's what it was. So it was like 2.4, 2.5 acres or something.
Barb, can we have our plan back?
Are we allowed to ask questions as this goes, or?
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
open
I'm not used to
forum.
having other guests, honestly. So I kind of like, yeah. But feel free. Yeah.
You want to see the architecturals for the buildings?
Yeah, I believe it's-
So,
It's 4
I
buildings.
believe it's 4.
Four
Yeah.
2-unit buildings.
Yeah.
So 8 units. Yeah, I mean,
I think I added, it says 24,000 in total for all the
for
buildings.
total.
Yeah, which is more than half an acre.
I mean, essentially, the entire site is covered with impervious cover, for the most part.
And
Except the
there's
perimeter.
inadequate stormwater. You said there was something in the stormwater?
Well, here's the stormwater report if you want to
I'd
look at
love to see that. Because what I see is the road going in is not, is impervious, not pervious. There's no basement. The pervious is limited to the car, the smaller vehicle parking. And the buildings take up, you know, half an acre, which is triggering stormwater this to that. And trees are being removed, which triggers stormwater as well. So, you know, pervious pavement is meant to handle where pavement is. It's not meant to handle all these other things. And all the property is based on the topography. Any excess water is going to dump on the 2 houses on either side.
I can't figure out the stormwater, because I see a lot of infrastructure here, like inlets and piping, but I don't know where it goes to. Like,
Well, it doesn't go anywhere. It goes to the pervious pavement is what I'm seeing. And that's not adequate. I don't think any of that's adequate. I mean, I'd like to read what he's saying. I'd like to know if the engineer for the town has reviewed this and what his report says.
Yeah, we don't have that report.
We
Yeah.
don't get it.
It's sort of difficult to review and not know what's already been hit by the engineer because they better we know what he's already aware of, so we don't have to ask the question.
Who's
And
this
bother
file?
him when he's
What's the
being
date?
paid by the taxpayer.
220.
He's already made the report.
Now, is he going to rent these units out, or is he gonna use them for himself?
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know what they mean. Yeah, I really have no idea.
Other than that, they become storage units.
And that's what the plans look like. They just look like a used store kind of to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to read the scaled down plan. A lot of the
Yeah.
stuff is,
Well, it's almost a 60 if you want to have a,
well, I mean, even like the writing, like, I mean, I know my eyesight's not what it used to be, but I can't read it.
Looking at it, here's my comment so far. Lack of stormwater for the buildings and the tree clearing and the roadway portion like forest. Because those pipes don't go anywhere but to the forest, so it seems inadequate to me based on what I know of stormwater rules. We need a tree survey for the trees that we're removing, because there's quite a bit of forest that's backing off. It may not be environmental, but houses aren't permitted in the HC zone, and no matter what they call them, those are warehouses. Again, we need the engineer's letter. This needs to go to the zoning board. No amount of BS should send it to the planning board, because it would take BS to get it there. Only a portion of the paving field, I already said that, okay. They're calling the building setback a buffer, okay? A buffer is trees staggered to buffer the neighbor. Don't call a setback a buffer. It's a setback. It may be greater than the required 25-foot setback, so I think it's 35 on the plan. But that's completely bogus to be calling that a setback. And anybody on the board who doesn't get that, if you look at the landscape plan, it's completely ridiculous. The houses are really close to this, and you're putting 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag again, which is why Malibu is a mess and, everything overflows. And why the water table is a problem. And it keeps rising, and really wants to be neighborhood.
One thing I noticed, and I have to give this shout out to my friend Ralph Travel In, is they don't, and I disagree with him on this, but they don't show the agricultural buffer on the rear line either.
Oh, there is an
Which I know is there because we reviewed it when the gentleman two lots down proposed his building. So yeah, there should be an agricultural buffer. Again, I disagree that there should be one there. However, it's been interpreted as such that there is one there.
Wait a minute. Didn't we go through this at the hearing where I brought it up for the dollar store, and I was told that there is no agricultural buffer in the highway commercial zone?
That's yeah. There's a differentiation between this and that application. That application was buffered or adjoined. See you, Mark.
See it.
Was adjoined by another parcel in the highway commercial zone. So it was determined that there's no buffer between two parcels that are zoned highway commercial. This, however, is the parcel in question is highway commercial. The parcel behind it is RA. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the differentiation between the two situations.
Yeah, but I don't know that because of the way the ordinance is
Have a good night, Mark.
that, that there's anything in it that would cause them to have to comply.
Well, the way the ordinance is written, it says if there's a buffer requirement from any RA property. The argument on the Dollar General was the adjacent property that they were saying there was a buffer from was not RA.
Okay, well, the farm buffer, this property's not RA either, so how would there be a buffer on it?
Because the ordinance says any property adjacent to a property in the RA. There was no buffer in the Dollar General scenario because the adjacent property was also highway commercial. It was not RA.
What are you saying, there's a farm in the RA zone that should be buffered onto the highway commercial zone?
Yeah, again, I'm not saying that I agree with that, but that's how it's previously been interpreted by the township, yes.
And that's what Ralph interpreted it as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ralph thinks there should be buffers for agriculture everywhere, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, When you guys talked about the master plan, that was brought up.
No, we didn't, I mean, we didn't really discuss it with the master plan.
Speaking of the master plan, what is going on with that?
It's in the hands of the township committee.
And they do
Yeah.
nothing after they tried to rush it through it,
That, yeah, you have to talk to them about that.
you know, the
It
master
just
plan
left.
would help us. There's a lot of things on it, because they're about to run those people over who live next to you.
Don't they have to have the, doesn't it have to be passed real soon? Isn't it a law?
Buffer, agricultural buffer.
It was actually due 2 years ago,
Yeah.
They
but
don't seem to.
it's delayed for whatever reason. I don't know what the legal requirements are. Imagine like everything else that gets into the situation of lawsuits. They don't pay up front, we'll not. Hopefully it will be fair, we'll not pay up front.
All with our township tax money, right? All these
That's not what this
lawsuits.
meeting's here tonight, so sorry about that.
I mean, I think not the last planning board meeting, but the prior planning board meeting, Ralph Travelin actually brought it up and had asked, I think either the mayor or deputy mayor, what the status was, and they said they were working on it. So, I mean, I wish I had more of an update for you, but I would direct you to township committee on that.
Okay.
So should we, for this application,
What's our order of comments?
yeah, should we, say that there's, did we say where there's not enough information, right?
Right.
So can we can say that? But then there's a whole bunch of other stuff we want to say about the pavement and all that stuff too, right?
There's always a big question mark there.
Yeah.
I think we have to question the, you know, the stormwater plan out of it. And the tree removal, there's, we can work on that. No mention of it.
Well, according to you, this is new construction. It's not applicable here.
Only in your mind,
Well, that's what I heard you say earlier.
well, that's a violation of the law. And of our own ordinance.
Yeah, definitely questions on the stormwater, questions on the buffering, especially to the adjacent residential uses. So
Okay.
you're saying that where the parking areas are pervious pavement
Yeah,
and the entrance lane, so to speak, is not?
yeah, the only part that's pervious from what I read, I've actually close. I think.
I'm trying to find a good plan here.
That may not be the one, what's that one called?
So hard for me to read this. It's like-
Very neat.
This is the grading plan, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Landscaping plan, landscape lighting plan, soil erosion,
Maybe some slow erosion or degrading.
soil erosion. It doesn't even,
I can tell you.
I mean, vehicle circulation, it doesn't even say
Well, they're discussing
stormwater.
Looking at, like this case, they're talking about a plan that maybe you're
There's the
not
grading
going
plan.
to system.
Right,
But you don't know.
no,
So what is the chain of the way things are supposed to follow? What first, and then where's it supposed to go, and where's it supposed to go? And, you know, obviously there should be a systematic approach to where somebody comes in and tells
My
you this is what
glasses
we're
down,
doing.
See how
And
this
then they
is
should
shaded
present
this
whatever
way?
plans are there,
Uh-huh.
and then it should go to
This is the forest.
Porous
yeah,
pavement.
This is not.
Yeah, but why do they have all these inlets in the porous pavement?
Because this is what they're doing. They're gonna grade everything.
every
collapse
once in a blue moon,
in
we
the-
get the engineer's report.
Right.
And ship it
And
to
it's
the forest
wonderful.
pavement, but
Well,
the
it's
question
so
becomes, I mean, is that really adequate?
We're getting.
Yeah, I got it.
You're
That's
taking
what we're
trees
missing
down
all the
here.
time.
All the time.
Not unless there's stone or something under there. Like, I
There
don't know.
is, there has
There's a lot
to be
of
the
pieces
forest
out
pavement.
Yeah, and
But-
it's so helpful, we
You
wouldn't
know,
have to worry about it.
I'm not aware that forest pavement does anything more than the site that the pavement's on.
Right.
I'm no expert at that, that's
You
what
would think
you
if it's right,
but
all the information would be
it
there.
doesn't make sense to me. That you're gonna take everything off the site,
And recharge it into the parking lots.
yeah. And also, I feel like there's a drawing that they're putting the dumpsters where they have to drive.
Yeah, I can't really.
Well, this is
Yeah.
what happens
And
always
the
on
forest
these
pavement
applications.
has a date on
All the
it.
information isn't
That's why you
there.
don't.
It's a thing.
truck
Then it goes
facilities.
back to-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, they got a circulation plan here showing trucks coming in here. Like, there's a truck plan.
Yeah, and I
Like,
had to really look at what is this truck, so I had to look at
There
it.
used to be. I'll come down because it's kind of hard to hear, but
What type of truck?
right.
That's why a lot of times.
We're getting all shit's breaking loose here now. We got no. Yeah, that's it.
Just to say that we're in a group committee,
You could make
it's,
the proper.
It's as far as it goes.
And it seems like they're like.
They can do whatever they want.
I don't know how long it's had.
Dave, to your point, you're asking when the engineers' review letters are available? A lot of times when they're available, we get them. Now, not in my experience here on this board, but in my experience as a developer, being in front of many boards, there's many times I've had applications that I get sent an engineer's review letter at 3 o'clock when there's a meeting at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So there's a good possibility that the review letters aren't done. I mean, I don't agree with that. It always frustrates me when that happens as an applicant, but I wouldn't jump to any conclusions that we're not being provided the information because, no. I'm just saying that the review letters may not be complete yet, so.
What about that 10-day?
Oh, yeah, like, why are we reviewing something? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, we're supposed to be given the plans prior to the meetings, obviously, because that doesn't make, but, sometimes the timing, if we're looking at, like, what is it? Our next planning board meeting isn't till, what month is this?
March.
March. So we already had our planning board meeting in March, so we're like a month away. So if they schedule this, they give us the plans to look at them, but maybe the review letter comes in a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, they put them on the schedule, they have the meeting, and our next meeting isn't until after that, so the timing doesn't work out sometimes. Yeah, so not really any schedule, so to speak, kind of, we get what we get, so.
Isn't there a 10-day time limit when all these things have to be available?
Not the review letters, no. Like, that's what I was telling Dave. I mean, I've gotten them for my own applications, the day of. I don't agree with that, like, because that's not fair to the applicant, but there's no requirement. No, not on the reviews. So, I mean, obviously, the sooner the better, because that gives everyone the opportunity to review that and the applicant to make any amendments or be prepared or whatever, but, and I'm not saying that happens all the time. I'm just saying I've seen it happen, and there's no statutory requirement for the submission of the review letters that I'm aware of. Like,
Well, when you go outside, you build outside of Franklin Township?
yeah,
So when you go to other boards outside of Franklin Township, is everything available to you then, or?
it varies. I mean, I've seen some that are much more efficient and then some that are less efficient. So it's not like, Franklin Township's set far apart from others. I mean, it varies quite a bit,
Who is efficient? Just give me one.
I've mentioned this I got to go back. There was a town in North Jersey that I was following that was doing a big warehouse project that was going on for like 18 months. And they had a program, I think it was called Civil Viewer or something like that. But basically, like, it was completely transparent. So anytime any document got loaded into that project, it got loaded onto that server, and the entire public could see it. Like, you could go on right now and you could track all their applications and all their documents and review letters and all that stuff. Like, so I forget the name of the town. I'll try to remember, but I mean, I'm sure they're not the only town that does it like that, but there's.
Did it cause that town any trouble? In other words, did it stall things? Did people come and?
No, I mean, I was only following the one application, but no, I mean.
So it would pay to have things.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference of, some people may think it's great, some people think it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I think once this applications are filed, I mean, it's public information, I think it should all be readily available.
Right.
Because then when it's not, people, think you're trying to cover something up or hide something, you know what I mean?
Well,
Even when you're not, so.
Yes.
But,
No, it should be totally open.
right.
And it's supposed to be 10 days before, totally open.
Well, yeah, all that, the 10-day thing is like for notices and plans and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
so. But there could be, like, even the applicant could, if the applicant gets a review letter and they want to submit an amended plan, there's no 10-day rule on that. It's just the initial application and the initial notice has to be out, so there could be amendments that happen up until the meeting, so.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay.
Others more?
Well, that's the end of the applications, but I just want to get to old business, Malga Lake Park. I was there a couple of, maybe like, what, 1-2 weeks ago, I forget, but anyway, there's a post that's down in our little nature trail that we have, and I had to contact Public Works and see if they can fix that. We put in new posts at the Malga Lake Nature Trail, and they're all nice and new, but one of them was just, looks like it was just taken right out and thrown into the woods somehow. But yeah, but it's still intact, so we can hopefully just put it right back in. That's all I have on Malga Lake Park. And Piney Hollow I have not been to since January, I guess. I don't know if anybody has, I know we just talked about, to Mark, we talked about the culvert and if it was gonna be,
He
cleared.
never gave us an update.
Well,
on
he
that.
did, he just said it's too wet right now, so they haven't done anything yet.
And they're busy with the other part.
Right, yeah.
What?
They're focusing on Malga Park, but that's not before they do it.
Oh, like, you mean with the swings and things?
Well, the township employees are working on that park, he said. They're focusing all their spare time on that. He
Okay,
didn't specify what they were doing, but that's what he mentioned they were focusing
okay,
most of the time. I mean, it is looking nice.
uh-huh,
Ours look nice, they're getting the fence up, they got gates up, I mean, they're
okay,
starting to really look presentable.
wonderful,
For especially those dedicated to the more reform officers.
okay. Oh, I'm glad.
You know, it's looking-
I haven't been there for a few months. Okay, well, that's good, hopeful news, great.
Yeah, the playground equipment looks really nice. I mean, I took a walk out there the other day, so hopefully it can stay nice, you know, I mean, people don't,
That's it.
that's the problem, give somebody something nice and then,
And Forest Grove does not have swings?
Still doesn't have swings.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they have swings, they just only have 2 instead of 4.
Uh-huh.
More like the left and people actually enjoy.
There was a mix of both, it was neglectful parking, and at least from what I had understood, there were multiple times where teenagers were chasing off with bats and poles and stuff hitting the sled. This is why the slide got broken.
Oh, nice.
Oh, jeez.
But that was a while ago, hopefully those teenagers that outrode them, the ones below them, hopefully they had the proper trail.
Unless they're kids.
well, I think their idea is they put that fence up, they're putting gates up, and they're gonna lock it, at night, so. No, they weren't up when I was
They're
there.
not to stop people, stop cars.
Why?
They're double pole swing gates.
Oh, yeah, no, they're not like to keep people from walking in and out, from, yeah,
It's more to keep vehicles off of there.
yeah. My question was, who's gonna open them and close them?
So that's it.
And, I was told,
The gentleman that, handles the waste area.
oh, yeah, no, I was told the police department was gonna do it, but I'm sure they're real thrilled about that, but, we'll see.
Just like the tree
Yeah,
ordinance.
Right, so,
That's where it would be, but I mean, you got all those homes there, I mean, the points of them.
All you gotta do is put the hot lines in. If you see them, lock them up. Don't answer them. Just lock them up. If the gate's shut, they should be locked up.
Well, it would be like a town watch, I mean, you've got residents in there, if you want them, would be happy or willing to, volunteer, you know, to open and close the gates, or, here, I'll just take a walk around. Yeah.
I mean, they do get around. I mean, the cops must drive by there.
Right. This is great until early morning fishermen get pissed off.
Oh, well.
Well, that ain't, I don't know if that ain't, does the fence does all together, but I don't think they have gates on it.
I think they're gonna gate both ends, yeah. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it better come really early or, the public needs to park and the lake is gonna be in there.
Well, we'll see, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt right now, and we'll see what happens, yeah.
It's better than what we had right now.
Right.
At least it's a step in the right direction, there's at least a progression positive, thought made, but it's at least right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those swings was a lot safer. It's unfortunate they couldn't do a Kansas pass and stuff that we was done if they got a different place. They don't want it to work.
I think that, I had mentioned something to one of the committeemen, I don't remember who, that was like, and again, don't quote these numbers, like several $100,000. And we were talking about, yeah, like who installed it and the manufacturer and stuff, and they said if you get into the handicap stuff, they said, well, even the equipment, I guess, like it doubles in price almost. There's a law, which actually I think the the mayor from Vineland was instrumental in getting it passed. I forget its name, maybe after one of his children, but I forget the name of the law, but that deals with the handicap accessible stuff like that. And if you do something in compliance with that law, it's extremely costly. So, like it would have cost, we would have got half the equipment and it would have been double the cost or something like that, so, which is a shame. But,
It's gotta be certified.
yeah. Right, right. So,
There was a Jake's Plug.
Jake's, that's it, yeah.
Jake's Plug grant was available last fall, and I told them, in an email, I forwarded them information to apply for Malibu Park, but, yeah. I do that every time I see the grant.
Yeah.
I think it's one.
So there was a way to do it,
Yeah.
and these poor children,
Well, again, I can't speculate on that. I just know that
there was a way.
it's expensive, yeah.
This is the way, one half of it for 3 acres, and the rest through, the money that is likely every year from us for the state, but the will isn't there at town hall to do this project.
I don't know if anybody there has the expertise either when it comes to
Yeah.
the grants and things of that sort. A lot of times that's contracted to a third-party company. So.
Or, someone from the public, which is what happened with Pine Hollow, did, 90% of the work, and then just the engineer did the rest.
Right.
What else we got on the
That's
agenda?
not happening today.
Well, we got new business, which I have nothing for, unless anybody else has new business they want to bring up.
No, nothing there.
And mail, we had none.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Unless anybody else wants to say anything. You got it, yeah.
Maybe we have on Route 47 right across from where Coach W is doing current dollar store. There's a retention basin, detention or retention, that never drains. It's full constantly. Has been that way for probably, when the Fazio Lane was cleared, it was about 3 feet down. That brought it up about another 18, 20 inches. And then after the dollar was built, now it's all the way up almost to the brim all the time. Doesn't matter if it rain or not, as soon as you get rain, it plugs the field. Who is in charge of that? I've never been able to get an answer out of our township. Because they say if it is on 47, it's the state.
It's a DOT, I believe.
I contacted them, they said no, it falls under township jurisdiction. Because it was built at that point because of township buildings, not because of Route 47. But that's been there a lot longer than that, than any of the buildings there. So I'm just asking, if anybody knew how would that fall? How do you find that out? Especially if I'm getting, one tells me no and the other one tells me no, so somebody in the middle somewhere has to know.
I don't think, this is, again, pure speculation, but I thought that basin was built as a result of the reconfiguration of the highway there.
That's what I remember. There was a little one there before, but it was not,
Right.
it was only a dugout area. That, it filled the water drain down. It was after it was fenced in and became official when it out water.
We have to pull the tax records and see what the ownership is of the,
Correction.
yeah.
Yeah, I really,
It's a mosquito
Well,
haven.
it's my concern, every time we get an inch of rain, that field floods, and then it backs up in everybody's yard on the road. And now Valley Terrace is now getting flooded, they got flooded this place.
Oh.
It just happened, they've never had water there. But 3 of the homes, their backyards filled up. So we have issues that need to be addressed, and that was one that will help, it's not going to solve it, but we can get that debris.
Well, I think what the state's trying to say is that, the more construction and runoff, the more impervious surface that's upstream, the worse it's getting. And like you said, sometimes it's backing back up the other direction, would you like to say?
Right, well, if you look at where the 4047 overpass comes together, down past the dollar, not the Dollar General, the Valley Dollar. When you come uphill there, so anything on that side goes down towards the high tension lines that are all swamped out. And everything on this side comes down our area and heads towards that area or down 40, it splits. When it rains, we watch it run that way.
Right.
So our area is getting all the runoff from there, which used to just disperse.
Well, the township is supposed to have their own, stormwater township system, as well as I believe the county. So, and I don't think the town really does much with it. I mean, this is something that the town should be looking into.
I'm looking for, I was just looking for some assistance there because I brought it up in committee and I was told I made up all the videos I sent.
Township
What?
engineer.
You were told you,
That I must have dubbed these videos, you know, all the other drawings. So that's my area of expertise.
You need to be able to.
It was just off my phone, you could watch.
Contact that, the township engineer, and see what they-
Well, I did, but he said he'd get back to me, it's been a year and a half now.
you should do that.
Well, I did, not in that direction.
And if he doesn't do anything, I'll contact the township.
I'm trying to do it in the township, but I'm just, it isn't.
I mean, I just looked up the GIS map, and according to this, it's shown like almost as the right of way of Route 47 is shown. Like it doesn't have its own block and lot. It just shows the right of way on 47, then it cuts out around the basin, and it comes right back. So, I mean, I don't know who you should ask, but maybe, you know, potentially, like, I don't know who our assembly representatives are, or our state senator or whatever, but I think, I'm 99% sure that it's the state's responsibility,
Well,
but,
that's really got modified, so that's who I called, when I contacted them, they said it's the township, it doesn't go to the state. That's why.
yeah, I
It
mean,
could be owned by the state, but when I talked to Bill Arsenal, he said the problem with that area is the water table is just.
well, that's what I'm saying, that might be the groundwater level, whatever in there, yeah.
It's never, for like the last 10 years, every time I drove by, it always dropped like maybe this much from the surface, so,
Yeah.
you know, the DOT can only do so much. They're responsible for draining the road.
Sure.
They're not responsible
Yeah,
for
definitely.
everything on the, that comes from that watershed and lands up running through there. That is the town, that's, you know, and maybe even the council, you know, because they're supposed to have regional and municipal stormwater plans, and they are
No,
responsible.
he
So we're gonna have to go up the
Public
chain
Works.
and try to
But they
get
can
the
ask.
answers. The town's not answering you, you need to go to engineering and the town.
I'm trying to see what property we
Yeah.
have left. Because it's, I mean, all the
Yeah,
things
and
we
they have to,
got.
like you said, contact the
Yeah.
state, contact your representatives, you know, talk to the people at stormwater.
No, but I have it,
You know,
Okay.
you know, they'll provide
so
them.
we can ask,
yeah.
so and so,
Tell them what I'm doing.
try.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're 3 years into it now, so no answer. Sorry, I didn't mean to break
No.
your meeting.
No, you're fine. And
You can give me something like
before you go, I'll adjourn the meeting, but then before you go, I'm going to exchange your information because there might be somebody who maybe would have a little bit more insight that I might be able to contact. So,
You know, I'm just trying to find answers. You know, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
that's terrible.
I just want to know who's supposed to fix it, you know, if there is a problem. And that's, you know, I'm just trying to find those answers.
Yeah.
See what we have left of our 3 streets, and we still have, each of us have a little bit of trees left, but almost every tree is dying in here.
Oh.
The roots are so, I mean, all our 18 trees are dead. We lost 18 trees in the last 4 years. I thought all mature, you know, massive trees. And I had an actual environmentalist come out with soil samples, and he said, they're all root problems. They'll be in this meadow.
Oh, no. Oh,
But you better replant them real quick, or you're gonna get a violation from the town.
I guess I'll make a motion. real
Oh, yeah,
quick.
make a motion to adjourn, yeah. Second?
Not quite, but.
All right, we're adjourned, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you know what, we never do a fly solution, we could be doing a fly.